Friends, family, and other creatures of the sea, welcome to the grand finals of the StarCraft 2 Masters Summer 2023. The bottom left spawning as our red Terran player, it's Gumiho. And in the top right, as our blues are playing for Basilisk, it is Cyril. Played offline in Jönköping, Sweden. I very well realized that I mispronounced Jönköping over there, but there's no Swedish people in my YouTube section, my YouTube comment section, so I'm not worried about that at all. Ooh, Cyril opening up with a fairly early pool here, but also with a quick hatchery, which means that he probably opened up with the new school 15 pool opener, delays his gas to get some quick links, some quick queens out. If he wants to, of course, those quick links, they're not necessary. He's gonna actually run them across the map. Really cute move here out of Cyril. And let's see what the timing on his third base is going to be here. So far, the drone isn't out on the map yet. And it seems to be more of a gasless opener here, coming out of the still young Finn. Reaper makes his way in towards the natural, tries to get a kill on a drone, but will not quite succeed, as a double inject is indeed what goes down over here. Factory start on the side of Ooh, triple CC. Now, Gumiho is one of those players that is not known to be a standard Sammy. You know, he likes to have his own shenanigans in there. Different types of build orders. But triple CC, of course he's capable of playing it. I mean, Gumiho is a very achieved Terran. Last time he won something major, I want to say it was in 2017, when it was the GSL that he won. A very impressive result, of course. Winning a GSL is always difficult. There's not that many people that won a GSL. Gumiho is one of them. Usually that has been achieved. Any of his big results have been achieved with wonky little build orders, just playing slightly different than what the standard is. And although he did end up opening up with a fast command center, with a fast third command center, it does look, well, fairly different from what we usually see. We have a tech lab on the factory. We have a barracks producing Marines 2 at a time with a reactor. And there is a starport out here, which undoubtedly is going to build a medevac, but the gas simply isn't there yet. So I'm actually kind of curious what the plan is going to be over here, as this just seems like an odd build order. For now, Roach Warren coming out of Cyril, he did open up with a gasless opener, slightly delayed third base and delayed gas mining as well. And rather than going for a very late speed, Cyril instead decided to opt for a Roach Warren to try and defend with roaches coming up. So 3 roaches are on the way. Speed has still started. I'm not sure if this is a fake, trying to trick his opponent. I don't think it actually is. So we now do see that drone transfer onto the third base. The medevac is coming out. That's going to allow these 6 Marines... No, what? Okay, leaves 2 Marines at home. I'm not sure if these were forgotten to be picked up. This is it's like watching Home Alone 1. Like, both of these Marines are called Kevin. Yeah, being left at home. Yeah, surely they were supposed to be in there, unless they're meant to deny vision from the Zerg at this point, but that's pretty... Nah. I guess the one nice thing is that you now can pick up every single unit and all fits in the medevac. If you have 6 Marines, that's not the case, of course. So maybe it was on purpose. But then again, maybe Kevin was left on purpose in Home Alone as well. Perhaps his family didn't quite love him as much as they thought. Overlord, that's the third Overlord that's going down here, isn't it? That's quite a... It's a decent amount of OVs that my man is picking off over here. Double gas is going down after the extra barracks as well. No mech here out of Gumiho. Which, well, because it's Gumiho, is actually quite odd. Most other Terrans don't really enjoy playing mech quite as much, but Gumiho is he's a mech boy. He loves his mech. There's one thing he can do well, and it's going to be mech. Banshees as a follow-up still. This is once again one of these build orders you don't really see. It's going to hit with 2 Banshees. That should be a surprise. I mean, Cyril is not ready for it. Has no spore. Does he have a lair? It does have a lair. So single Overseer could actually do a lot for him. There is an Overseer already that makes its way across the map. There's 4 Hellions. It's just a weird order of things, you know that? A couple of Marines, a Cyclone, then 4 Hellions. And these 4 Hellions are going to hit at a timing where I'm not even quite sure what this timing is going to be honest. I think he's setting up for a for a drop, honestly. Yeah, for a Hellion drop. No, it's going to be a run by here in towards this third base. Serral not quite ready for it. A bunch of these drones are being roasted already. This is a good start. This is a very good start. Where are the Banshees? Banshees are staying at home despite there being cloak and there being no detection whatsoever. I guess you have this one overseer here. Okay, maybe there is some detection. 16 drones being reproduced here for Serral, who I guess... Oh, nice dodge. I guess is in a fine spot. He's already throwing down an infestation pit. We have these range upgrades on the way. It's Gumio who's trying to make the plays, now sending in the Banshees after they've been idling for the past, I don't know, like 45 seconds or so. Like, there's going to be an infestor out to deal with the Banshee. This is not a common response, not something we often see. The first Banshee hitting after the first Marine push usually hits. Because usually the first Marine push is supposed to hit at, what, like 6:45 maybe? Banshees are coming in, 75 workers are out, so even if you kill 10 workers here, I mean, Serral's going to have plenty of money to just reproduce them at a high pace. Losing 10 workers 7 minutes into the game is a lot less impactful than it would be if these drones would have been lost like a minute and a half ago when there was only 60 or 55. Now, it's going to be 13 workers that go down. No matter what phase of the game, 13 is still an impactful number. We already have Hive halfway done. We have a Lurker then on the way. Spores are now coming up as well as the first Marine push does decide to move out. This is just hitting so darn late, isn't it? This is just hitting so darn late. Cloud Reconstitution finishing up. We have more roaches than Marines here with the first push. I just don't really see this working. Combat Shield hasn't started. I was gonna say it's not done, which is correct, but he hasn't started it. Combat Shield's going to start after +2 attack. This has to be a mistake. I don't think this is done on purpose. Like, Gumiho literally just forgot about one of the most important upgrades in the entire game. The Combat Shield. Giving these Marines 10 extra HP. Fungals, if they connect, uh-oh. That's going to mean these Marines are in a bit of trouble. There are a lot of tanks, though. 3 tanks already here. Stubble factories continue producing those. Still no Combat Shield here being researched. This is the tech lab that has to do it. There's a crap ton of cash in the bank as well for Gumio as he's floating over his 4cc that he built in his main base. Double Banshees will find this Roach run by. Should be capable of dealing with that. There are 2 tanks and a bunch of Marines here. Combat Shield finally does end up starting. I actually think Gumio is in somewhat of an okay position. It's not brilliant, but this should be good enough, honestly. 2 tanks. Banshees as well coming in. We have the extra barracks that can start building Marauders now, or perhaps even start transitioning into Ghost. Like, this is going to be a tricky fight still, of course, with these Marines not having their full HP, basically. Tank count is up to 6. There are 50 Marines out. Serral's creep is fairly mediocre, though. As Gumio decided to build a CC on the low ground in position, will be forced to cancel it. It's going to restart it immediately as these tanks and the Marines will scare away the links. Double Banshees once again coming in, 7 kills each. And a single Marine drop, which is going to have 2 soon, as well as Combat Shield. Is heading out towards the far left side. Sensor Tower will spot these Roaches moving in. There's only 3 Marauders though in position. And this is quite a lot of Roaches. Marines try to trade with the Queens, will not quite succeed at that. I guess they traded some transfuse energy away as they gave their lives for ire. It's not a very valuable trade. It's not a trade that I would be up for either if I were a Marine. I politely declined that opportunity. If a group of 6 Marines can sign up to trade away their lives for a bit of Queen energy, I don't think my name would be on that form, but then again, I am a massive coward. Tanks being sent back home. The total tank number is 9. That's a good tank number. A couple of Marines make their way in towards the main base. 2-2 on those bad boys. They're trying to target down Spores. Also an unthankful job. It's just not a great fight. Did provide a window here for Gumiho to move out across the map. I mean, it's even bases at this point. This actually looks really good for Gumiho. I've kind of been joking around that his build looked weird and perhaps didn't achieve as much as he would have wanted, but I mean, Serral just doesn't have the mining. He's being attacked from multiple angles. There's no Medivacs with this army for some reason. Like, this is just a pure Marine Marauder army. Terran's deciding that the 3rd M in MMM is not quite necessary anymore. Just pure Marine Marauder. And that's going to be it here. a random turret as well being added aggressively in case overseers come in or if lurkers want to burrow next to the tank. Seems like most medevacts have died. 2 new ones do end up popping out here as the 5th CC is done and flying over to the 5th base location as well. I'd love to see some extra command centers for added in scans. The tank count is still, well, extremely high, honestly. There are 2 Vipers out. Those should be capable of starting to work on those tank numbers. So there's plenty of energy here. First abduct goes down, second abduct coming in as well. Very clean play here out of our Finnish Zerg player. Another drop heads in towards the main base and tries to deal some drone damage, not quite succeeding. I feel like the only thing that Gumiho really should care about is denying the 5th base forever. I mean, do you really need to clear workers if your opponent is stuck on 4 while you're trying to take a 6th base already? Yes, you heard that correct. 6 bases here coming in for our Korean Terran player. It has an absolutely astronomical amount of marauders, tanks, anything that is powerful really, he has. There are a lot of lurkers though in this army of Serral, and I'm not quite sure if there's anything that can deal with lurkers at this point. There are no ghost out, there's no liberators really, and these tanks are not necessarily in position either. And this is a very odd fight here in the middle of the map. Lightning Cloud is going to connect with all of those tanks. Marauders, Marines low in HP already as these lurkers now start moving forward. Is there another scan available? There isn't, as the Viper does get taken out. 164 supply for Gumiho against 183 of Serral. Serral still only on 72 workers, but he's knocking on Gumi's door. And, well, Gumiho wasn't home, and I think Serral was okay with that as he takes out the depots, start taking out a lot of these SCVs, not just on the 3rd base, but also in the natural. GG gets called, and within a minute and a half of me saying that Gumiho probably has this game, he is forced to tap out as Serral takes game number 1. Map number 2 is going to be played here on Ancient Cistern. Beautiful green map, a larger map, a Zerg favorite map perhaps, that's what people would say. So we have a CC first versus a hatchery first. A battle of firsts here. And Gumiho down. I feel like that last game's opener, it was so weird and it worked out so darn well. You know that? You look at that and you think to yourself, wow, that's crazy. And then Serral just does a couple of things, you know, starts making some move, comes back into the game, straight up wins it. It's a problem that I have with Serral. You work so hard on your little build orders and your strategies, you know. Comb over his replays from the past 5 years to see if he's weak anywhere. And after months of searching, you know, for his one weak point, you find it. Like, this is where I could get my advantage. This is where I could get my win. You play the early game, you're up. You know, 17 tanks against 35 roaches, faster upgrades, you're up 2 bases. And then Serral just flicks on the switch that says only use in emergencies. Yeah, it's an emergency button. He can flick it on himself. He doesn't need anyone else for that. You know, no third party is involved there. He just reaches around to the back. Like on the upper part of his back, you know, in between the shoulder blades, a little bit lower maybe. It's just a button as well. It's not really a switch, just a button. Just click it in case of an emergency. He turns it on. More 15 lurkers, walks across the map and wins the game. Ta-da, I'm the champion. Serral in a nutshell. Unbelievable, this kid. What in the world is this build order? But actually, this is like a 2-1-1 type of... what is this? What am I watching? This is a 2-1-1 with Hellion production. Just actually end me. What in the world are you doing, Gumiho? I feel like Gumiho spends most of his time just practicing against the AI. You know, like, looks at his build order list. Like, this looks fairly standard. Let's see if we could make this weird. It's like, let me just produce 2 Hellions from a naked factory and then morph into a tech lab. Then I can use these 2 Hellions to run by into my opponent's natural when my first 7 Marines with stim hit in the main base. Yeah, it's not a build order. I've never seen this before in my life either. We'll get an Overlord here for free, which is always nice. Things for free in general are nice. Except letters from your national lottery. I always keep getting... not sure if this is common in other countries as well, but lotteries, they keep sending me letters. and then there will be like a scratch ticket included. You always win on the promotional scratch ticket. And they tell you to claim your prize online by signing up for the lottery, which is only 15 euros a month. And don't worry, you'll get a gift worth 20 euros in the first month already, just for signing up. I can't recall how I got to the lottery, but I don't really need an excuse to flame national lotteries. I hate them. They once tricked me into signing up, and then it took me like an hour and a half to unsubscribe. It was really difficult. I couldn't just send a letter. I couldn't do, unsubscribe online. I had to call them. And then once I told them I want to unsubscribe, I got transferred to a person who was really good at trying to explain to you that you're making the biggest mistake of your life, unsubscribing from the lottery service, which is basically just throwing money into a pit. Which is genuinely a terrible idea, But this guy that I was talking to almost made it sound good. Like I was making the mistake of my lifetime. Almost started to doubt. After searching for their phone number on their website, which was well hidden for an hour and a half, I found it and I ended up, I think, with 18 euros for a 15 euro lottery ticket that I bought. But it took me an hour and a half to work for those 3.5 euros. That is a wage of about 2 per hour. It's not a very high wage. From then on out, I've started sending hate mail to the lottery whenever they send me a letter. I also want to send hate mail to Gumio after watching this build, because these two Hellions and this Reaper did absolutely nothing. He had a perfectly fine build order. You just had to get these Hellions in somehow. Unbelievable. Yeah, not much has happened yet in this game. Gumio, this is the weird thing though. I look at the state of the game and I think to myself, that's not half bad. Nothing happened. I feel like Sarah's just constantly peeing his pants, Just afraid of whatever the heck it is that Gumio is about to do. Because he does do weird things. Yeah, he's a wildcat. That's for sure. Never mess with a wildcat. You'd be a lion. 1-1 is on the way here for Sero. Also has centrifugal hooks, which is about to finish up. Which is great, because the first push is going to hit... Well, this is actually a significant pushing army. Look at it, there's 2 tanks. This is freaking an infinite amount of number of Marines. And now these 2 Hellions are coming in. The ones that I was making fun of earlier. And they're going to provide some great value by guarding this tank here on the high ground. Ooh, Gumio stims in. Takes out a creep tumor in what I would like to call world's riskiest move. Walks with an unsieged tank up onto a ramp filled with creep. But he gets to live to die another day. What is this army doing, Sarah? Are you going for a flank, or... This tank position is gnarly, though. I don't think you can flank this that easily. Oh, perhaps going to be a run by. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Wall does get closed in time. What does this trigger? It triggers a stim. It's not good enough, though. Okay, Gumio is going to continuously move forward here. More Marines are coming in. There are 2 tanks on the high ground as well, which should be capable of cleaning this up. 7 SCVs go down. The armory is about to finish up, and 2 E-bays are now done as well. Fort base does get taken out. Gumio continues pushing in. These positions are freaking crazy. Look at these tank spots. That looks beautiful. No, well, Banelings are not quite getting targeted down. This low ground tank has 12 kills. I hope most of those are Banes. Now we'll start fighting with the Queens. That's a fight you never really want. Royalty always wins. These Marines actually get to stay alive as well. This was a fairly decent trade here for Gumio. Yes, he doesn't have a fort base. Sure, his tutu hasn't started yet. And maybe the lack of a second factory is annoying me, but he's only down 10 workers, and he's up about 22 in the army supply. Creep is practically non-existent on this map currently. The Baneling count is extremely low. What do we have? We have like 7 Banes. That looks good, no? That looks really good, actually. I like all of this. Gumio once again puts his entire army together here in the middle. Whoa, gets surrounded. That was not quite the fight that he wanted. Poof! Final Bane is gonna get targeted down. Well, never mind. 11 new ones show up. It's the problem with Banes as well. That is actually the problem with Banes, isn't it? You take out 10 and then the next 11 finish morphing. It's like a never-ending cycle of Banes, and it drives me absolutely nuts. Just like those letters that the lottery sends me. You send 3 back to them, and you get 4 new ones in return. There's so many as well. There's an infinite amount of lotteries. It's a brilliant business model. You take money from people, and then you give them back less. This is legitimately printing money. It's actually the best business model. You always get the loan as well from the bank, you know? It's like, sir, what's your business plan? Oh, listen to this. We have people send money to us, and then we give them back 95%. The bank looks at you and says, yeah, that sounds good to us. Here's your $5 million loan. Thanks so much. Unbelievable. Ooh, this is a run by and a half. There's no SCVs though. What are these Marines doing? Where did they come from? They went on a freaking hike as well. Into the mountains, got lost, come back after 5 days. Oh, safety! See their third base, like, where are the SCVs? All gone, and then Lynx and Banes try and surround them. A couple of them will stay alive. They're all deep into the orange though. So Liberators are trying to defend these tanks. This is, well, optimistic play. If 12 Lynx show up, that tank is still going to die. I can absolutely assure you that. There's 1 tank at home. There's a bunch of Marines. His +2 is about to finish up. +2 Carapace is already there for Cerro. Uh-oh. Ooh, good target fire on those Banes. Banes all end up dying. And the Marine reinforcements are coming in. I think Gumio's actually doing it here. These tanks are in a fantastic position as well. Baneling Nest is going to be targeted down. No, we'll get to stay alive, at least for now. As more and more Banelings are rolling forward. There's 35 Banes available, but there's a crap ton of tanks here in the back. There's no creep over here either. Uh-oh, these Marines perhaps in a bit of trouble. No, are gonna get controlled. Is Gumiho paying attention to multiple sides at the same time? Oh yes, for sure he is. Tanks not quite sieged up at home. Here comes a lot of Lynx. Here come a bunch of Banelings. At the same time, though, Baneling Nest does get gunned down. 3-3 has started for Gumiho. I don't even think the hive is there for Cyril. No, it isn't. Bunch of workers will end up falling here most likely as this super depot will get blasted by these Lynx. Banelings now make their way in towards the main base, it seems like. At the same time, in the natural Cerro, a couple of Marines enter. Oh, well, these SCVs are going to fall. 24 workers have gone down already. So the Banelings are struggling to get their hits off. Will end up getting it. 33 workers go down. This is still a very good position, though, for Gumiho. As in, his army positioning is very good, and also his army supply looks quite good. 93 army supply against 88. It's also well balanced. There's 8 medevacs, there's a lot of Marines, there's a bunch of tanks. These tanks are now having some trouble. Liberator is putting in some work. Oh, Banelings put in a lot of work there. That was a bad fight for Gumiho. Just as I started to believe. And technically he's still have 15 supply. It's these two, oh, yeah, these 2 empty medevacs. I have a feeling they once carried Marines, but there's no proof left of that. This tank is going to end up dying. That's a lot of fresh mules. Oh no, you can't really end up losing those, can you, buddy? That's not good for you. That's not good for you. That's really not good for you. What's the tank count? It's at 2. What's the Marine count? It's at 48. The Bane count only at 13, though. Starting to feel this position a little bit for Gumiho again. If you can get those tanks maybe over here, a bit forward. Now it's gonna go further back. Liberator is sieging up into a pretty decent position. Run by being sent across the map. No, it's a flank. It's a flank. That's a nice flanking motion. Tanks, are they firing at the Banes? Well, not really. Not sure what they were firing at, though. But not what they needed to. Still, Gumiho up 94 supply against 66 when it comes to that army supply. This army is largely overstimmed, though. Medevacs still have plenty of energy, so can heal it up. It's going to need to pick up all of those Marines as the final bit of backup is going to be removed from the map. There's some random Marines here. Too many Marines for a medevac. This is like musical chairs, except with your life. Ta-da! The music stopped. You weren't in the medevac. Adios, my friend. Infantry weapons level 3 are about to finish up. And that means that the future traits are going to go a bit better for Gumiho here. But he doesn't really have all that much anymore. His army supply lead has pretty much disappeared. He does have an upgrade lead, but he also doesn't have the tank count anymore. Oh, this is not enough Banes, is it? 1, 2, final one. Yeah, that's it. Cyril, hello? Hello? We need more Banes there. There's 1 Bane remaining. There's 1 Bane remaining. If you can gun that one down, no, misses it. We'll be forced to pick up here. 102 supply against 136, but the thing I care about is the army supply, and that's still 79 against 74. With those 3-3 upgrades, Gumiho can still make something happen, even if he doesn't have tanks. There's 3 fights happening at the same time, so he picks up the army on the right side. Main base is going to be a win here for our South Korean Terran player. Well, let's not look at that. That is not going to be a win. As we see a redrop here in towards, I think this once was the 3rd base, which probably still is the 3rd base. A redrop over here on the 17th base that Cero has built as well. It's not quite accurate, but close. There's 21 workers to 56. There's 43 army supply against 42. There's no hive coming in for Cero. I don't even think he should be thinking of a hive. And he's not. That's good. Big Ling run by, coming in towards the natural now. There's no wall eater in the main base. That means that these Lings could just march in over there and start dealing some damage. However, that also means there isn't all that much left at home. Spawning pools is going to get targeted down here. Cero needs to rebuild that ASAP. So he has the worker lead, he has the income lead, and well, he's going to have an even bigger income lead as every single mule and majority of the workers will get taken out over here. There's a 3 marine drop that's flying around. I'm not sure if it achieved anything. Perhaps we will never know, as these marines are still being aggressive. Gumiho, 46 supply against 25 when it comes to that army supply. It's the only thing that matters right now. Spawning pool is being rebuilt. Cero's starting to float a lot of money. 1k in the bank. Are there queens? No, there are no queens. There's just 1 queen. 7 banelings as well. Whoa. Cero, you're in a world of trouble right now. Gonna need to do something about this. He's not morphing any new Banes either. Why is he not doing that? What is happening here? These drones are not doing a good job. Cero's just... You can build Banes without a pool, right? Cero's giving up here as he taps out. Gumiho will win game number 2. I'm a little bit surprised by all of that, honestly. It really felt like Cero just completely forgot that he could still produce Banelings in that position. At least as a way to spend money, I think Banelings are significantly better than Lings in every single way. I can't imagine a scenario in which you'd rather have a single Ling than a single Baneling if your opponent's army consists of pure Marines. There was like, what, 50 Lings maybe? 8-9 Banelings? You could turn at least 15 of those bad boys, 15 of those Lings into Banes. Like, there was plenty of cash in the bank, there was plenty of gas. Cero had a gas issue in that he was floating too much for a very long time. It's not a massive issue, really. Oh no, so many natural resources. How awful. That sounds terrible. But yeah, double proxy Rex here. Double barracks proxy. Coming out of Gumiho with a very fast gas as well. Almost starting to make me believe that this is going to be Reapers rather than anything else. This is definitely going to be Reapers, isn't it? This is 100% going to be Reapers. Also, this location makes no sense for Marines. That should have been the first big tell. Sometimes in other matchups, what you see is that Terrans, they fly their barracks into the main base. They can do this in TVT and in TVP. And then they turn it into tech labs, barracks with a tech lab, and then they save up like 4 Marauders and then say, ta-da! They snipe your pylon or whatever Terrans have, and then they win the game. It's really quite cool. It's one of these moves that I truly appreciate. But that's obviously not happening here. It's going to be a Reaper rush. Okay, let's take a look at that. Monsieur Reaper. Ba-na-na-na-na-na-na. Reaper. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. You know that what the top Terrans do? This is interesting to note. Is they shoot with their Reaper gun, and as they shoot, they also throw the grenade, so it doesn't interfere with the cooldown of the Reaper gun. You know, it almost feels like it's exactly at the same time. They really have a good grasp of how this works. It looks so cool. This is some nice control though out of Cero, holy crap. Losing 3 Lings so far is not a whole lot. It really isn't. Grenade is going to connect with that Queen. Second grenade also gets to connect with that Queen. Cero does need to be careful. Queens are fat, easy to hit. Fat targets. Reapers do heal up, don't forget about that, my friends. These bad boys are going to end up Well, hopefully still getting a couple of drone kills, because so far they haven't achieved a whole lot. Ooh, that's going to be big. That's going to be real big. That's one worker. As they now continue fighting this extractor. It's a fight that the extractor seems to be winning. So it gets its health a little bit faster. Then the Reapers can take it off. There's a drone patrolling on the third already. I'm not quite sure what it's doing. It's waiting for the money to finally be sent over to this bad boy. Hello. We need cash. Reapers once again. Oh my god, there's a lot of Reapers. That's what, 7? No, this is 6. There is a 7th one though. It's this bad boy. 7 Reapers. I wonder how many links you need to deal with 7 Reapers. I don't actually know. Can you actually get a third base against this? Look how late this CC is though for Gumio, and Serral sees that. Now, if you're Serral in this case, right? What are you afraid of, really? What should be your priority, really? I don't know. I have absolutely no clue. Serral says his priority is going to be to take a fast third base, but that leaves him with very little money. He's not injecting any of his hatcheries. Okay, now he's injecting his natural. But maybe it would be better to mass out drones first, because holding your third base is going to be hell with pure Ling and 3 queens and a spine that's on top of your ramp, right? Like, the Reapers are still alive, and there's cars with it as well now. Freaking reactored cars over here. That's pretty cool. Follow-up is going to be a fusion core. Now, this is not a real build order that Gumio is playing here. He once again invented this himself. Just making stuff up as he goes. The nice thing about Gumio's builds is that they all do seem tight, you know? Sometimes you see people make up build orders, and it's so obvious that they just thought of it in the loading screen, you know? They're like, oh, I don't have a build. They see the countdown starting to run, and they quickly go into the help tab. You know, they press F12, and they just pick 3 random units. They go, I'm going to do something with this. That's not the case with Gumio. He's going to end up taking out this third base here. That's actually fairly big. It's huge. That's freaking huge. That was Serral's advantage. That was it. Gumio wants to move on to the top of this ramp. That is very, very ambitious. Perhaps a bit too ambitious. Yeah, ambition is a good characteristic to have, but you can't be too ambitious. You can't let the people above you know how ambitious you truly are. Now, you can't tell the CEO of your company that you're gunning for his job, you know? I'm here to take you out, son. It often means that you're not even gonna get promoted close to this guy because he remembers that. You know, you have to be sneaky about it. You don't tell him while you're gunning for his job. That's what Gumio should have moved on top of that ramp either, no? And there's a spine there. He's gonna try and go for another kill on this hatchery. He might actually get it. It should be so frustrating here for Serral. Gumio doesn't actually want to commit. Oh, there's a PC in the main base. He's gonna fight with a spore. That is an interesting move that you don't see a whole lot. He's gonna get this hatchery kill. What is the freaking queen count? It's only at 5. 5 queens against the BC. That is going to be difficult. There's only 4 queens remaining. If the Yamato was done already right now, I think that Serral would just be dead. Yamato isn't quite done yet, though. There is a second starport on the way. There's a second starport that's done. There's a tech lab on the way for it. We're going to be having a whole lot of battle cruisers. Reapers moving in towards the natural right now. Roach is being taken out by pure Reaper. Like I said, this is not a real build order, but Gumio's making it freaking work. That's what he does best. This is not normal. This is not okay. We do not approve of this behavior, but good lord, is it working. Good lord, is it working. 15 worker kills. I have no clue where they come from. I have no clue how he achieved it. But he did achieve it. This is still on 2 command centers, but Serral is also only on 2 hatcheries. This third hatchery has not finished yet. There is no lair. No, there is. But there's no spire. And a Hydralisk then is not a viable option against this particular style, so good luck, Serral. I wish you a lot of luck. Because, good lord, you're gonna need it, my friend. Aliens moving in right now. There's 5 queens. There's 2 Yamatos. That's a 1 and a 2 and a 1. GG. Gumio takes the lead here in this series. I think if you would have asked most people what would happen in this series 3 games in, they would have said Serral is up 3-0. Or Serral's up 2-1. You know, maybe there's a good Terran map in there. It's a best of 7. There's no vetoes. Maybe he gets a bit nervous. Maybe Gumio, you know, does something absolutely wild. It's completely possible. But ooh, wait, what is this? Oh, Gumio. Gumio is such a gangster, you know that? And I'm one of these lame gangsters from nowadays. No, not one of these lame gangsters from nowadays. And the drug smuggling gangster, you know, actually most gangsters probably have been smuggling drugs, and that has been their main line of business. Even the cool ones from the movies back in the day, like the 70s and the 80s, with the golden chains and the pants that look like that. I'm not sure what you call these pants. The stylish pants. Where was I going? Oh, yeah, Gumio plays like a gangster. He does what he feels like. He doesn't care about the rules. So far, if I'm not mistaken, he's played a single gas triple CC into Cyclone Marine Drop. He's played a CC first, that was an Ancient Cistern, into a 2-1-1 with 2 Hellions and a Reaper, which made no sense, but we appreciate it anyway. Last game was a Proxy 2-Rex Reaper into... What was it again? Proxy 2-Rex Reaper into like Hellions and a 2-base double starport battlecruiser build, which also doesn't exist. And now he opened up with a gas first, which is extremely rare in this matchup, but really just extremely rare. What does this allow? This allows for 2 Hellions that will be a solid 17, 16 seconds faster than they usually would be. Reaper does not go across the map. Why? Because Gumio is deadly afraid of a Ling run by. And for a good reason. You can't scout if you're playing gas first because it hurts your build so much. You just don't have the cash available. Now, another thing that this does, by the way, is that it allows for a way faster starport. Way quicker starport. Just significantly quicker. Very fast. The fastest. Oh, what is this? No gas for Serral. Similar opener to game number 1 out of Serral, I want to say. Where it opened up without any gas for a long time and went into roaches as a follow-up. Huh. So this is the same build that Gumio did in game number 1. Well, the same build, obviously. The same concept that Gumio did in game number 1. But he's going to hit about a minute faster because it's not with single gas. It's not with triple CC. It's not a minute faster. It's going to hit significantly quicker. And I am really curious how Serral is going to deal with this. I don't know if this is hard to deal with. I haven't seen this particular build played in this matchup in my entire life. This is a build that Terrans sometimes play against Protoss, actually, and then they'll follow it up with a Raven. But what? He's crazy. He's actually crazy.
Ready for dust off.
He's been hit in the head. I saw it over here. Where have you gone, my friend? God, this barrack is such a loser. Holy crap. Okay, it's gonna follow it up with a Raven, get 2 Hellions, and then 2 more. The Raven is actually how you would follow up in TVP, but the Hellions obviously aren't. You never build Hellions. Hellions are awful in TVP. Everything else is a pure TVP build order. Now, this... Oh my god, you can be serious. How did this go unspotted? Okay, it's gonna get spotted now as there's a single Marine... Well, 4 Marines and a Cyclone that pump into vision here. I think that Queen might be in some trouble. Ooh, Serral, sloppy micro there. Probably busy doing something else at the same time. You shouldn't have been, because the Queen is important. Cloak as a follow-up. So this is... He cancelled the Raven, then went into Cloak and got scouted immediately. That is just what we call fantastic here in the Netherlands. That is just great. It's brilliant. 4 Hellions do move in over here. There's not a whole lot in position, but Evo Chamber block should be capable of taking care with this. And then a quick pull away on those workers. Ooh, misses the Evo Chamber block. Gumiho pisses off. No, comes back in. Serral, without an Evo Chamber block, tries to go for a Spore, but doesn't quite succeed to completely block these bad boys off. We have 11, 12 workers going down, and I think that was a single car that just fell. That is generally a good trade. 1 Hellion for 12 drones. If you could repeat that trade, well, 5 more times, this game would be over. I don't think that's quite going to be possible, though. Okay, now we have a what? So it's a single Banshee without cloak into a Raven anyway. This build order is starting to make less and less sense the deeper we get into it, as it will be stim, and thus that indicates that it's bio. I almost believe that this was a mech build. Yeah, sometimes you look at something and you think to yourself, well, this is mech, and then it isn't. And it's kind of what happened here. This factory flew a bit too far. It's gonna go back now to start tank production. Marine count is non-existent. Tank count is non-existent. Units that could do anything count is existent. We have some Hellions. We have a Cyclone. We have, I think there's still a Banshee around somewhere. Just being used defensively, really. This Raven is going to help out the Night Creep, which is nice. This is so good. I really feel like the Raven is... I don't want to call it underused, but undervalued. And also underused. I just don't understand how Terrans can look at the Raven and think to themselves, I don't want this unit. Like, just as a mobile detector, it's so valuable, right? Just taking out creep tumors without having to use a scan. A scan is worth about 225 minerals. It just feels so ridiculously good. What is this? This is a 5 marine drop without combat shield. These guys, I'm not quite sure what they're planning on achieving, but dream big, my friends. Dream big. Oh, we're going towards the main base right now. There's really nothing in the main to defend, though. There is vision. Creep tumors, of course, give a lot of vision. The fact that all your units get a speed boost of 95% wasn't good enough. Blizzard decided to also add an insane amount of vision to them. Still glad that they did that. Raven, together with these cars moving forward. Look at this! Boom! That's already 3 scans so far in this game that have been saved. 3 scans! That is an entire command center and a barracks added in. Oh no, it's gonna end up scanning up here anyway. But maybe otherwise that scan wouldn't have been available. You ever thought of that? Probably not. Didn't give you too much time to think either, though, so... Maybe you guys would have gotten there eventually. Hard to say. We'll never know now. Is this a second factory? Yes, that is. What's the barracks count? It's at 5. Hellions and Cyclones make their way towards the top side of the map. I wouldn't mind something in the middle again. Oh, we still have these... 1 Marine died. Still 4 left from this elite squad of Mariners. Poof. Bunch more tumors are gonna get taken out. Scan number 4 that gets saved. Make the total somewhere around 900 minerals. I feel like that is a stat that should be added onto the Raven as well, you know? You can just count how many scans there should have been and that haven't been used to achieve the same result. Oh, it's going to be scan number 5 here. 2 command centers more is what Gumiho has so far. 2 more command centers. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, that's pretty crazy. That's what I thought. Lurkers are on the way behind all of this. There's no 5th base yet, which is going to be fairly late. This is a scary area to expand to as well. Let's face it. This is not an easy spot to defend, especially against someone that's as good as Gumiho at denying creep. There's no creep on that high ground. There's hardly any creep here. Why would you scan? You have a Raven. Well, it is what it is. See, just as a mobile detector, it already has paid for itself. And it still has spells. People often forget about this. It has Interference Matrix, Auto Turret, and it has the Dorito Dust, which real name I can't think of right now, but it minuses the armor by 2. Which is freaking huge. Freaking huge. Tanks moving into a different direction over here. Moving towards the bottom side. Probably trying to take out this 6th base. Should be capable of getting that. There's 7 tanks out. I think you can Interference Matrix Vipers as well, right? I do believe so. Could you also hit the Lurkers with it? Oh, here comes a... Poof. Anti-armor, that's what it's called. The Dorito Dust, the orange stuff. Look at that. Yeah, they look so ugly with that stuff on them. Perhaps an abduct is going to be a possibility here. Tanks moving forward at a very high pace. I'd love there to be a second attack here. Just a double drop on the top side or something like that would be so freaking huge. Tanks moving into position, very high pace. 1, 2, and abduct number 3 could come in soon as well. Lurkers putting in a lot of work. 186 supply guns, 166. Gumiho is not quite getting the fight that he wanted. Will take out a lot of the lurkers though. 6 lurkers have gone down. Maybe that was good enough. There's one more anti-armor missile available. Well, this army is going to be difficult to keep alive now for Serral. This bottom side base is in trouble as well. I actually think that Gumiho might somewhat be doing it. A lot of the supply for Serral is being rebuilt into roaches, which is the one unit you generally don't really want once there's more than 1 tank out. And right now there's 6 tanks out, and all 6 of them are right over here, the very aggressive location. They are a bit clumped up. That means that Blinding Cloud could be good, but instead abducts are being used. 2 tanks will fall, but we also see some of these lurkers still going down. There's 5 lurkers still remaining. Anti-armor missile once again hits completely on top of this army. But it does feel like Serral is going to hold, and pretty convincingly as well. Oi, 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 oi. What is this? That felt like a good fight for Gumiho for a very long time. But Serral strikes back. Gumiho does not have a 50C yet. This is a 50C that does not want to survive the night. That's for sure. Some interesting rotations going on over here as well. Serral comes in with the 9 lurkers. It's going to bring the total up to 12. 2 more on the way will bring the total up to 14. Do 14 times 2, you have 28. That's maths for you. A couple of marauders as well as a bunch of marines here on the bottom side. Ooh, cheeky little scan. Wish there was a raven with this army. Would have saved another 225 minerals. Hate to see it here. Hatchery does get sniped. These queens will, well, 1 queen will get taken out. 3-3 is about to finish up. Now, once lurkers are out, upgrades become less important because no matter the upgrades, the lurker kills everything. Ghosts are going to be the answer to the lurker. Yeah, like I said, this CC is not going to survive the night. It's going to, well, it's not even going to survive the day. It's freaking dead right now. Bad boy is going to end up falling. Lurkers here in a position to start dealing with that refinery. And boy, are they dealing a lot of damage against that refinery. That refinery is not going to see any more SCVs going in and out with that beautiful Vespine gas. CC does not get cancelled. There's 1,300 minerals in the bank. The first few ghosts are now out. I think I saw 3 over there. Where's the Medivacs? We still have 4 remaining. These 2 are in a scary location, as they both managed to stay alive. There's not that many well, no, there's 13 actually. Where are they? Oh, they were all just... Serral just temporarily forgot about half of his army. Apps to the best. He's now going to send them towards his 3rd base. Gumiho thinks he's ready for this, but Gumiho's a lot of things, but he's not ready for this. Ghosts coming in. We'll take out a lot of these lurkers, but the tank is down now. I don't really think there's enough. Vikings in the air, not really contributing either. GG gets called as Serral wins game number 4 and ties up the series 2-2. That brings us to game number 5 here on Neo Humanity. This looks like a Beyond Turex. For the people that are not aware of what Beyond has been doing in the past 4 months, Beyond opens every single game with a low ground depot, a barracks next to it, and another barracks with it. The Beyond 2 racks, that's what I call it. And build 3 Reapers, goes into a command center. Sometimes he'll go triple racks and goes into a delayed command center and builds a lot of Reapers. Pew, pew. Deals a lot of damage. But this is just a regular Reaper into a factory. Was this gas first again? Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Yeah, this was gas first. Okay. But what is the follow-up plan? Oh, I love this opener. This is so cool. Such a quick factory. The only problem, I guess, is that everything is just exposed in your wall. So it's super easy to scout for the Zerg with links, with overlords, with whatever you have. You name it, they can scout with it. Reaper's gonna make its way across the map. We'll get there pretty freaking fast, by the way. Look at that. This queen is also here pretty freaking fast. That's Cyril has skipped all types of links. He decided to go for 0 links this game. It's going to be some fast cars. You got a fast car. I got a ticket to anywhere. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. I remember when we were driving in your car. Streets of faster like I was drunk. Ooh, mine drop. You got a fast mine. Ooh. Cero, you sneaky prick. What is this? Is this a Nidus worm? In the category build that Cero never plays. For 600 points. What is a Nidus worm? Second gas coming down? Or is just like a roach all in is also possible? This is such a wild build. Because this kind of makes you believe it's going to be Muras, right? That is the mind game. This is what Cero is communicating right now. Saying, I want this rich gas. What do you need a rich gas for? Muras. Cero right now is communicating with Gumiho. And Gumiho is eating it up. He's seeing this. He's saying, hey, this looks like a Muta third. Well, it's not going to be a third for much longer. This is nothing. There's a tank on the way. Unlucky for Cero, though, is that Gumiho decided to... I'm not quite sure what he's playing, but... he's building a tank 4 minutes into the game. It's like he's trying to defend a 4-gate blink here. Yeah, I'm not really liking this spot here at all for Cero. This is extremely bad. This feels extremely bad. Really extremely bad. Gumiho sees the complete lack of a third. Maybe he believes there's a third base on the far left. It's going to be like a... oh, is this the Overlord speed build? No, there's no Overlord speed. So it's not the Overlord speed build. I've seen that before. Cero gets like Overlord speed. He drops queens. Puff. Then goes with a bunch of roaches. I mean, there's no chance in hell that this works, right? It's going to be 2 tanks. And the third CC is very late. I think that's completely fine for Gumiho here. I think Gumiho might believe this is a 4th base. Does he? No, he doesn't. Cero thinks he can kill? This is 8 roaches. 3 Ravagers. No, come on. Not what? We're not actually moving to the middle of the map, are we? Oh, you can be. Wait, maybe it's fine. Oh, wait. Gumiho is the one that's going to be aggressive. What? Cero's just as confused as I am right now. Hey, this is over. Like 100%. No, no stim, no nothing. Cero was all-inning. And so was Gumiho. That did not go well for the attacker there. This is over. Oh my god. Oh my god. If Gumiho would have just sat at home, this fight would have happened on his side of the map, behind a wall. Aww. What a terrible, terrible game here. I think Cero can probably just continue pushing here as well. He's gonna try and take out that tank. 1, 2, 3. Adios, says the tank. More and more Ravagers being morphed in. 1, 2. Number 3 not quite there. Actually, number 2 also didn't hit. Poof. Just barely out of range. That's pretty sad. He's gonna try and hit it again. Yep, it's gonna hit the tank. 1, 2, 3. Poof! Another tank goes down. GG gets called. Gumiho losing a very weird game here in game number 5, putting Cero on the match point in this grand final. Game number 6, and Cero's up 3-2. As I said, that means match point. CC first versus Pool first. Very interesting. Now, personally, I'm a huge Pool first enjoyer, but usually doesn't end up working out too well against a CC first. It's great against people that don't scout with a barracks, but I would count Gumio as one of these absolute top lads, you know, that doesn't scout. I'm such a fan of Terrans that don't scout. You know what it is with Terran? Terran can play completely safe without really having to cut any major cost. You know, they can play an SCV scout with a Reaper opener every single game, get full information, play triple CC, have great eco themselves. But they can also decide to make the build very risky for no reason whatsoever. A minor benefit, you know? 5 minerals more. It literally doesn't matter for Terran. So I always appreciate when there are Terrans that just play dangerous just to play dangerous. You know, I think that is cool. It's like crossing the road with your eyes closed. Like, yeah, why not? There's no point. You're going to still cross the road about as fast as usual. But at least you feel that you're alive again. That's what I like about people like Gumio and Beyond. You know, these guys really don't give a crap about what people think of them. Now, you might be wondering why Gumio didn't throw a grenade there. Because in the past, people have thrown grenades, bumped the Zerglings over the wall, and then the Zerglings killed the SCV from the inside. It's not great. That I can guarantee you. Marine is out. Took out a link. This is a great start for Gumio. 6 links that achieved absolutely nothing, and 4 of them have died. Make that 5. This is like playing a game of treasure hunt. Except rather than treasure, it's Zerglings that you need to kill. 4 kills on this Reaper already. It's a more successful Reaper than any Reaper ever has been. Oh no! Sero still gets 1 SCV. God, I hate that guy. Just when you think it, you know, everything is perfect, he comes back in with a Ling with 7 HP, snipes the SCV, blows his nose in your direction and pisses off again. Life isn't fair. Some people have it all. Truly. What is this opener? Single Hellion production coming out of a factory. As a Viking starts on a starport with a tech lab. Now this is exactly how I expected this game to go. Gumio once again doing something incomprehensible, while Sero is trying his best to figure out what. He's researching Cloak. I believe this might actually be Banshees. Now how did I make this read? Because Cloak is researching. It could also be fake though. Yeah, it was a fake. He's playing Viking into Raven. That's so cool. That's legitimately so much cooler than building a Banshee. Cancels the Cloak. God. You know what's funny as well is that when other Terrans watch this and you ask them why they don't play like that, they'll say things like, oh, I don't feel like it's so safe to open up with a Raven. Like, well, Gumio does it. He survives. When's the last time you've seen Gumio die? Never. He always survives. Because no one dares all-inning him. Because this guy's mad. He's gonna build a second Raven? No, just pisses off. Doesn't give a crap. Okay, factory on the way. 2 factories on the way. And a reactor. What? But he's gonna start pumping Vikings with this? Huh. Double armory as well? Baneling Nest is on the way here on the side of Sero. Is this the first time we've seen mech in this series? Yeah. This reactor is confusing the crap out of me. It's hurting my head. Mech field accelerator coming in. So it's going to be what people like to call battle mech. Allows you to be on the map. Allows you to deal some damage. Double Evos coming in as well as centrifugal hooks. Seryl's still in the dark, by the way. Doesn't know quite what this is. He's going to get the surprise of a lifetime. Oh, that's a lot of cars. That's a lot of cars, he thinks. And Gumio doesn't mess around. He's gonna go in here. Ooh, can't be caught on the ramp. That is one. That is 2 auto turrets. The Raven pisses off, stays alive. Queen can block the Hellions from going in. That is mental. Zero achieves a good result there. This Spore was getting well, rather fired up by these Hellions. Nice control out of Zero. Keeps a lot of these units alive. Only loses 7 drones and kills what? 12 Hellions? 10 cars. Raven did make his way back home. Could get a repair. Look at 9 kills on this bad boy. It's all from these 2 auto turrets just now. Don't forget that. Auto turrets have a real future in this game. You have Blue Flame as well. He's pumping medevacs one at a time from a reactor starport. He's gonna drop these cars though. That's pretty cool actually. That's actually freaking cool. Because there's a Viking out as well. So it's gonna be impossible to spot that. Who in their right mind would leave units in the main? No one. Zero's building spores. God, he's a genius. This guy has such a massive brain. Oh. Banix are gonna get blasted over here. The Raven is back to full health. He's building depots around the map. Reminds me of Warcraft 3, where humans would build farms around the map. There's something special about seeing that, let me tell you. This kind of deals some damage, isn't it? These spores are not in the correct position. First person look here from Cyril. Sees this Viking flying in. This Viking is a fake. He often does this. Gumio that is. Just does things for banter. Uh-oh! Those are drones. Those were drones. That's 5 down. Make that 7. And now pick up again. Morph them into Hellbats. Does that mean there's going to be another attack at the same time? Yes, it does kind of seem to mean that. Where's the Raven that we used to have back in the day? Oh, it was over here. Why did he scan? No one knows. More creep tumors being taken out. This Hellbat is pissing off. I think Gumiho is winning. He's following this up with 2 more command centers. 2 Tors. His 1-1 is already done. Now, I don't like to call games early, but time to get into game number 7 here. That's what I'm feeling. What kind of world does Zero have? He's on the freaking lair tech here. He's getting pathogen glands. Infestor is the ultimate cock unit. Does absolutely nothing. He's getting Buro as well. +2 melee. +1 range. Like, upgrades look freaking fantastic here for a Terran player. You know, the one thing that we're missing is a Ghost Academy. Is there a barracks? Yeah. Just flying around. This is a typical game in which the Ghost makes the difference. I know Gumiho loves his Ghost as well. As a Gumiho enjoyer, I can smell the Ghost coming out. Yeah. Most definitely. 2 more orbitals in production. That is a good trick. The more orbitals you build, the less SCVs you need, the bigger your army gets. If you remember that ancient Cistern game, the army size is the only thing that truly matters. To say size doesn't matter, but army size definitely does matter. Right now it's 108 army supply against 104. Both players are inching towards max. These cars are gonna die. Hate to see it as a car enjoyer. We got a couple of kills though. Ooh. This was a trick. You see that? This was a... These cars, they were a distraction. A complete distraction here. This is going to allow Gumiho to start pushing forward. There's 88 drones out and... Ravagers need to delay pushes like this. Because they can't just move into this. It's impossible. It's going to try it. Letting the Banelings tank for a bit. Loses a bunch of Banelings, kills a tank. There is a Roach counter-attack here coming in. I do think that these Hellbats and the Thor combined should be capable of taking care of that. As one base gets taken out, Cyril's only on 4 bases, and he's fighting against a 4-base Terran as well as this, this SCV. Why does Gumiho keep doing this? Building this stupid command center in position always. I do not enjoy that at all. It's loading up the drop of a lifetime here. This would be crazy. Get in the main base. Psh, psh, burn down all the drones. Piss off again. Not quite sure what else is going to be used. Maybe drop on top of the Ravagers? This is what people used to do in TVT sometimes. Oh, he's going to use it to drop on top of the Infestors that knurled. In Interference Matrix also being used on one of these Infestors. That means that the Thor stay alive. That was an interaction that I hadn't actually been seen before. Still one neural available. There should be something left. Oh, the Thor just took out that Raven, I believe. Yeah. Resources lost, fairly even. 5th base. Oh, isn't being continued here. What a rookie move. What a mistake. +3 attack also started after +3 vehicle plating, which is also a huge error. Hellbats are so much better with +3 as they one-shot links with that. Okay, CC gets cancelled. As we have Gumiho moving towards the bottom side now. Does not quite have the tank numbers though that I would expect from someone like him. Once again, starts loading up Hellbats at a very high pace. Only has 7 Hellbats. There's still 6 cars around. Need to be morphed at a rapid pace. 4 Infestors. So once again, most likely going for that drop on top of the Infestors. Thor gets picked off here by these links. Adrenal Glands +2. Yeah, these guys have quite some damage output. +3 vehicle attack is going to be huge for these Hellbats. Huge, 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 huge. Still feel like that Gumiho maybe has too many workers almost. Needs a bit more gas. Fusion Core coming in. No Ghost Academy still. Oh, drops on top of this army once more. Not a great fight for the Terran, I don't think. Resources lost are in his favor, though. Needs to be so freaking careful. He's going very deep on creep with this. Needs to be so careful. There's a lot of units in production right now. These roaches are going ham as well. We now have a Thor Hellbat army that is gonna drop on top of this. That does not seem quite right. There's not enough units here, really. There's no Hellbats. There's no Infestors. Oh, sorry, there's no Hellbats. There's no tanks. There's also no Infestors, though, with it. These Infestors are all just kind of idling. This felt like a good fight for Sarah, but resources lost remains fairly close. It seems like the base count is going to be a bigger deciding factor of who's winning currently. We have 5 Thors moving towards the far left.
Base is under attack.
5 Thors. It's an interesting drop. 5 base versus 5 base currently. Right side base gets taken out. These guys should not go in. I don't know what Gumiho is trying to do, but this is a maneuver that I'm not okay with. This is just piss off. Yeah, go home. And stay home, honestly. Vehicle plane level 3 here, finishing up. I love this out of Gumiho. He says, you know what? I got all my upgrades for my ground army. Let me transition into air now, which doesn't have any upgrades yet, as he starts 3 BCs. This is something we actually legitimately never see. Because Infestors just kind of counter the BC. There is a Spire out already. I don't think that's going to be a surprise for Gumiho either. This is a fight that has some potential. There's nothing defending this CC. These tanks are way too far back. There's a bunch of unsieged tank for some reason as well. Do we have a backup command center? Yes, but it's in the wrong location. Random barracks over here. No sensor towers really being used for Gumiho. Just one on the top side, not on the bottom. That actually cost him dearly. That cost him in a big way. Now we have a rotation towards the middle. So I was just walking up this ramp. Sees absolutely 0 tanks right now. It's just out of position. He's just out of position. Uh-oh, here come the Thors. No. Perhaps wanting to drop on top of this army, but not quite. BCs are out. They haven't been spotted yet. Now, there is a world in which these 6 Infestors get blinked upon, Yamato'd, and then Hellbats kill the final 3. Then there's no real anti-air left. I mean, technically that is possible. Unlikely, sure. Possible? Maybe. almost feel like taking out these rocks to deny your opponent the vision is good. It's not quite here what Gumio is doing though. Unsieges his entire army at once. That's what we call a risky move. I like it. Okay, battlecruisers get spotted. 3 corruptors as well as a spire start immediately. Second spire that is. Ooh. Oh. Starts moving forward with these bad boys one by one. Where's the BCs? Where's the BCs? 1, 2, 3. I want BC. 6 infestors still somewhere. The Thors jump on top of this. This is the timing for the BCs to fly in. Surely. No? Ooh. What? This is not it. No, no. That's the wrong timing. That's way too late. Well, that backfired. Woohoo! Picks up the Thors though. Yamato's not going up, but these BCs are all falling. These BCs had some actual potential. Like some actual potential. Even now, this fight still looked somewhat okay. Half of the tanks, well, actually none of the tanks were fighting. This was probably the worst engagement that Gumiho could have taken. And it still looked somewhat fine. Tanks now are joining into in the fight. And yeah, the ground army is going to survive. There's a bunch of random corruptors out, which are practically useless. BC is going to fly straight towards his death as it teleports towards the left side. We can take out some of these workers here. That would be huge. They all just burrowed. Scan is going to be necessary here. Absolutely. The final tanks will get blasted. Oh, Zero feels so comfortable. He's like, you know what? I can just unburrow. Gumio did pay attention though. It's going to lose this battle cruiser, obviously. Does not achieve a whole lot. This base is in trouble. No, this base is gonzo. We'll need to lift it ASAP. Battlecruisers are moving in position. It's not gonna get lifted in time. CC gets taken out. What a blunder there by Gumiho. What a blunder by Gumiho. That last fight was a blunder, and that not lifting was a blunder. PCs moving around the map are going to force these corruptors back home. Of course, always praying that infestors aren't in position to deal with these bad boys. Ooh, that's a double Hellbat drop. Meaning it's 4 Hellbats. So it's a quad Hellbat drop with dual medevacts. Lots of workers here going down as this battlecruiser squad also takes out a hatchery. Ooh, there's a lot of units here on top of the ramp. Maybe the BCs will teleport into this. I don't think they will. I actually think the BCs are not teleporting into anything. Oh no, he's not paying attention. That is 1400 resources down the drain. Just like that. That is painful because there aren't that many resources left here for Gumiho. 21 drones do get constructed for Zero, who says, hey, I'm not done yet with mining. I have more mineral patches to plunder. So now it's the turn for Gumiho to start going across the map. But he just doesn't have anything. I mean, he has decent army supply. And he has a pretty decent bank. I'll give him that. But he only has 6 factories remaining. He's lost 2. Does still have 3 starports though, so can build those BCs. 2, 3 at a time. Yeah, 3 starports, so 3 at a time. One more factory might end up falling here. Cyclone's going to town on these corruptors. Well, the corruptors go to town on these factories. That's -1, that's -2. I think it was 3 or 4 corruptors that go down. Thor Hellbat drop kills something here. These Hellbats kill the base as well. Income is just so Cyril favored right now. I just don't see a way for Gumiho to be competitive again in this game, honestly. I'm having trouble. I really am having trouble. Link gets burrowed. SCVs get taken out. Command center. Sets up here. Minor repair. I mean, these links are on freaking crack with the adrenal glands. Absolutely going ham. What's this Evo chamber for? Oh! Move. Ooh, it's mispositioned. Yeah, it's mispositioned. Turit's gonna end up finishing up here as this base will get taken again. Ooh, big big neurals on these cyclones. There's only 2 tanks in the far back. This base will be forced to lift and take out that bad boy. Here we get a bit of repair on that Thor. And tanks are going to end up falling. Battle cruisers surround. Counterattack here coming in. Roaches are in position to deal with a potential ground threat, but not with something like this. Cyril now is pushing in forward, has a massive bank, has a massive amount of Ravagers, a massive amount of Infestors. And honestly, at this point, the game is pretty much over. 13 Corruptors do get constructed here, as this refinery does end up going down. These Corruptors are trying to be hunted. There's 18 Corruptors on the way. Is the ground army big enough here? Cyril doesn't have that many ground units, I guess. 6 Roaches, 9 Ravagers, 16 Lynx. Perhaps? Perhaps. Perhaps. Nah, the Infestors are probably too good, but... Oh, here come Yamatos, and here go a lot of these ground units. More Yamatos going down. I think these BCs need to teleport out. Corruptor count is obviously way too high. More Ravagers are being targeted down, but these BCs need to stay alive. They're not. They're absolutely not. These Corruptors now trying to chase. Well, 3 more Corruptors are going to end up falling. 14 Corruptors left in the air. There's 4 Roaches, 5 Ravagers, and 9 Infestors. It's not a whole lot of units. Fangoldo's going to connect with these Cyclones. That probably means the end of the world here for our dear friend Gumiho once again for the 17th time this game so far. Feel like he is just losing. BC is still trying to stay alive. Another fungal hit. Is there more bios available? No, there's not. Oh, these Corruptors are going down though. These are the final Corruptors. All Corruptors have died. This BC. Oh no. If this BC would have still been alive, there would be nothing. Like a single neural, that's it. 55 army supply to 72. Oh my god. A Hail Mary play here coming out of Gumio once again trying to drop on top of his armies. Almost feels like it's working. Fungal hits. It's gonna try and connect to this gold base. It's so important. Actually, Gumio's mining a lot of cash right now. 2,400 minerals a minute. I bet he's muling like a madman. Yep, there we go. Gonna get a lot of cars, I guess, but no money for anything else. Oh, here come the neurals. Never mind. Here go the neurals. Here come the biles, and that should be it. Yeah, GG gets called here. As Cyril takes the game, and as a result takes the series, and more importantly, well, actually not more importantly, but also takes home a decent chunk of cash. I believe first prize was $15,000. Second prize, probably 8, 7, 9K, something along those lines. Total prize purse for this tournament, of course, was $75,000. We'll be casting more games from this tournament in the upcoming few days. So yeah, if you did enjoy this, then be sure to check that out. Hit the like button as well. If there's any series that you would like to see because you've watched them already or you heard good things about them, be sure to leave them in the comments and I'll see what I can do for you all. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And bye-bye, my friends. Bye-bye.